Hello, everyone. It is the LAM. Not in our typical episodic format. We are here to show you guys what we've been working on in a separate class called Digital Sports Journalism. And you guys ready to look at our game highlights, essentially?
We watched these in class, and I didn't watch mine because I went to go use the bathroom.
I had to look. I just looked down at my computer.
Yeah, so this is my first time seeing
it. We need to study our game film, give each other some recommendations, and just have a laugh. You know what I mean? So
LAM game film session.
Let's check this out.
On February of 17th, 2026, former executive director of the MLB Players Association, Tony Clark, stepped down. This comes after an investigation made into Clark after it was found he may have had relations with an employee. This comes as a shock to the MLB world, as the Players Association and owners are set to meet on the opening day, March 26, in relation to negotiations about the new bargaining agreement. If an agreement cannot be made, then, and it's looking like in 2027, there may be a lockout for Major League Baseball. This comes after serious problems with it. It doesn't seem like there's anyone with real experience. Clark had major control in the past 3 bargaining agreements, which was actually what helped him get the position in 2013. So while it's not looking great for the MLB, I'd suggest watching this 2026 season because it's looking like we might not get so much in 2027.
And here's an update on the ongoing pitch rigging scandal that rocked Major League Baseball last season.
Even messed up my name.
On November 9th last year, Cleveland Guardians relief pitcher Emmanuel Clase and his teammate Luis Ortiz were indicted on charges related to an illegal pitch rigging scheme. The initial indictment, released in November, alleged Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz rigged pitches by intentionally throwing balls in the dirt, helping those involved with the scheme to win wagers. According to the indictment, Clase and Ortiz accepted payoffs, which allowed 2 gamblers residing in the Dominican Republic to make upwards of $400,000 USD. New allegations suggest Emmanuel Clase used coded language and text messages with friends and bettors enabled to cover his tracks. Coded language centered around rooster fighting. It is alleged Clase has been involved in the scheme since May of 2023. Both Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz are scheduled for a May 4th trial date. However, a recent not guilty plea in Brooklyn federal court may push the date back to the fall. Neither pitcher made any statements following their court appearance. They both face up to 65 years behind bars. And now you're all caught up on all things baseball. We'll see you after the break.
Okay. Let's talk about your guys for a second. The first thing I have to say, you guys did a good job. Those are 2 super hard-hitting stories to start off the show.
Yeah.
At least Lucas's seemed a little more intense.
Yeah, dude, Lucas
smokes.
is brutal.
But yeah, I mean, I think it was good for the first show.
I don't know why, because we sit here and talk, and I don't get nervous when we sit here and talk. It's not a big deal. But as soon as I have to read off a script and literally the bright lights, dude, I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. It's so silly. It's so brutal.
Or when us 3 were talking in that circle on the last semester, that felt weird.
Yeah, that did feel weird.
Especially everyone from the
everyone
record was watching.
Yeah, no, it's just sometimes when it with the force stuff, because we have to do this. This is the stuff that we kind of have to do, especially because as I want to pursue something in broadcast journalism or maybe just journalism in general. I know you guys kind of do too.
Yeah.
So this is kind of just it comes with the territory of what we have to do. But at the same time, man, it's kind of brutal. It's a great opportunity. It's fun, but it kind of is brutal to have to watch back.
Yeah, I think it should be fun. So let's see what I got into here, guys.
Jack
at UFC
Matt.
Houston on February 22nd in mixed martial arts this past weekend. So in the main event, former middleweight champion Sean Strickland defeated Anthony Hernandez via 3rd-round knockout. Now, Strickland isn't really known for knockouts, at least not recently, and he was able to get a nice body shot, which really hurt Hernandez, and he was able to finish up with a flurry of punches, ending Hernandez's 8-fight win streak. And Strickland let the middleweight division know he's still a force to be reckoned with. And in the co-main event, Serbian welterweight Uros Medic sent shockwaves to the division when his first-round knockout over Jeff Neal, a clean left hook, sent Neal to the canvas and extended his win streak to 3 straight first-round knockouts. After his victory, he screamed into the microphone, "Houston, we have a problem, and it's me. I am the problem." So his confidence brings him to the welterweight rankings, and he has actually called for former welterweight champion Leon Edwards next. Edwards currently sits at 8 in the welterweight rankings, and stylistically, I think this would be a great matchup for the fans. In the featherweight division, the Brazilian Melquizal Costa was on the hunt for a 6th straight win against Dan Ige. And as time ticked down in the first round, boom, a vicious spinning back kick to the head sent Ige to the ground as he covered up in fear. Costa followed up with some shots, and it forced the referee to wave off this fight with just only 5 seconds left to give Costa the win. And he looks to have a great chance in a pretty open featherweight division. So it's going to be exciting to see what the future holds for him. And the final highlight of the main card was when 2 undefeated welterweights, Jacoby Smith and Josiah Harrell, squared off. Harrell took Smith down early, but it quickly backfired as Smith was able to get on top and finish him with the ground and pound. And Harrell lost his UFC debut, but Smith will continue to roll, picking up his 3rd straight UFC victory, and he remains undefeated at 12-0. The card did not start with much excitement, but it did for women's MMA. Jocelyn Edwards was the sole finisher on the prelims as she submitted Nora Corneau, and of course, this was the fight when I chose to eat dinner. That's just how it happens. But overall, it was a great card, and this exciting night in Houston leads us right into UFC Mexico City next weekend, February 28th, where we'll see 13 action-packed fights in a main event featuring the 2-time former flyweight champion and Mexico native Brandon Moreno. He looks to stay alive against Loner Kavanaugh. So we'll see other fighters like Marlon Vera, King Green, Daniel Zellhuber in action next weekend in what should be a great card ahead of UFC 326. So thank you all for tuning in to Buffalo Sports Insider.
So
catch you after the break.
That was good. That was good.
I think mine ran a little bit long, to be honest. I didn't realize how long it ran. I was kind of just like, okay. But yeah, I mean, I was just I was happy with my performance.
I think you did a really good job. Like, I think maybe Lucas, you noticed this too. Like, we would get like caught up on kind of words, like kind of tripped up. I didn't really notice that as much with you. Like, you felt like very smooth.
Yeah, I mean, I was
talking.
like studying the strip. At least like I was heavily the night before. Before the airing, and I mean, I was told that to be less like I'm on the script, which I'm fine with giving that, like being given that advice. Remember, he was like, me, you, and someone else have to be less on script.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. Like I agree. I would much rather not have to look down every 10 to 15 seconds. But I mean, I want to form coherent sentences and just make sense. Yeah. And that's kind of my style. But I guess I kind of have to adapt a little bit.
And I think he said this the other day. Like a lot of us write like very like journalistic.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's what we do. We write articles. So I think that's kind of like a thing he wants us to work on.
Yeah.
But
and I mean, I don't really know what to think. I think we all have a great start in this, and it's going to be interesting to compare. Maybe instead of doing this every week, maybe we'll do just the last.
No, compare again. Maybe we'll just rewatch this one, and then we'll watch our most latest one
on the last day that we do the live stream with this class. But we just wanted to share this with everyone at the Record YouTube channel, kind of show you some other endeavors that we're working on, aside from the podcast and our articles. So drop a comment if you have any advice for us in our broadcasting future.
Yeah.
So, thanks for watching this video. See y'all later.